All is one reflections. What's up? We are live. All is one, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm watching technology do its thing and update and all that cool stuff. So, we're going to go ahead and hop in. Okay. Thank you guys for taking the time to hop into the temple. We know that, it's 2025. We live in a global world, a global society. Everything is virtual. You know, big ups to Baba Ogun, the energy of technology that allows us to do stuff like this, right? So, if you are local, to a house, to an elay, to a temple, and you have the opportunity to go in person, even to your church, I hope you're doing that. But, like we said, in the spirit of 2025, we have the opportunity to do stuff virtually. So this is our temple talk. We'll do this once a month. We'll come into our virtual space here and, we'll just kind of get a forecast for what to expect for the month ahead, an alignment session, if you will. Okay, so really informal, really casual. If you know me in these type of spaces, I believe you're supposed to come in, take your shoes off, hop on our virtual couch, um, leave your stress, leave all that stuff at the door and get comfy. All right, release everything that has been the week. Is hump day. So you know what the old folks say, if you made it up the hump, if you made it to Wednesday, it's all downhill from here. So I'm wishing that for you, okay? In case you don't know, I am Ajay Igbe. I'm the personal power priestess here at OHI. And tonight we're going to be tapping into the spiritual energies that are really shaping this next cycle for all of us. We know that is what springtime right around the corner. Okay, so that's exciting. I did say the personal power priestess, and you may be saying, now what is that? And I get it. So just to share a little bit of my ideology behind that, like just so it makes sense. I believe that we are the power, y'all. We are the magic. I don't know who coined black girl magic all those years ago, but whoever it was, they were really on to something. You hear me? Because the black woman, and that's every person, every person, but it's the girl in the magic that makes black girl magic, if that makes sense. Our energy, our ashe, our divine essence, like who we are in the most authentic and natural state, those are the forces that shape our reality. It's not how many candles you can light and how many rituals you do. It's your energy that really shapes reality. We always say you can't lie to God. You can say something out your mouth, but God knows your heart. So you got to, really start on the inside when we're talking about manifesting and doing other things, right? By mastering ourselves, we become powerful conduits for healing, manifestation, transformation. Once we build ourselves up with energy, we can then direct it and put that energy out into the world. So everything we seek, all of it begins with how we cultivate and direct our own power. Y'all know sometimes we joke about, somebody can light a candle and won't nothing happen. Nothing shakes, right? Because it had no real, no, nothing powering it when they lit it. And then somebody can do the same thing, and the world moves. It's all about the energy, the power that we actually wield. Okay. So yeah, the personal power priestess. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So I know it's late. It's 8:18 on the East Coast. And if you're on the West Coast, that means you're probably just getting off of work. So if you are catching the replay, I want you to drop some sparkles down in the bottom so that I come back and I know that you were here. All right. Let me know where you tuning in from and all that good stuff, y'all. So what to expect for tonight? Like the good old Southern pastor say, I don't plan to be before you long. Okay. Just a quick check in, bippity boppity, and give you some things that you can do and you can be on your way. But we're gonna tap into a spiritual energy forecast. Just really the themes that I'm seeing emerge for the month of March, and then how they're gonna affect us. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about a breakdown of what that lesson might look like from those themes in this month, and how we can lean into that. And I actually have some practical tools that we can actually use to align with the energy for this month. So stay tuned for that. The biggest thing is the updates from our community. So I'm going to tell you what classes we got going on this month. We actually have an international retreat that is coming up. Spots have opened up for it. So we're going to be talking about that and just, OHI updates. Okay. And of course, at the end, if you got questions, I'm here to answer them. And if you stay all the way to the end, that bonus treat for being all the way to the end, I'll give you a spiritual bath that's just charged for March. Okay, so if you take spiritual baths, you'll get a spiritual bath recipe, which is a beginner friendly, amazing, effective way to really start your practice if you're not doing that already. Okay, so if you are ready to dive deeper into your practice, if you're listening and you already know that you want the next layer, you want a little bit of meat, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and make sure that you join the OHI app. We have our own app, y'all. How cool is that? I think it's amazing. Okay. The app has been popping over the last few weeks as people have been hopping in, adding conversation, asking questions, and just building community. Because that's really what it's all about. So get in there. That's where you'll find info about all of our mentorship programs, all of our courses, all of the events, all in one place. All right. We know that we don't own Zuckerberg's Facebook, right? And the way the world is crazy, we thought we were getting ready to go through a TikTok ban, and there's still so we were blessed to have a someone, our Ia, who said, you know what, we need to build our own space. That way, no matter what, we can convene, and that's what that is. So y'all need to hop on over there. I'll make sure to get the info into the comments for you. Okay. All right, so look, hopping on in. We said we're gonna just talk about the energy forecast for the month. This is like my heads up to you. This is, like I said, the themes that have popped up that I see may affect us, and it is not a forewarning, but forecast. Just like we said, just a forecast for things that you can be looking out for and intentionally working with. Okay, rather than just letting it come and slap you, you're prepared for it. Okay, so March, we already know this because, like I said earlier, March is spring. If nothing, we know the spring equinox is coming, right? So March is a month of transformation, healing, and clarity. All right, this season is all about releasing past commitments, cycles, habits, baggage. That's baggage. Releasing the past baggage that no longer serves us, right? Before new blessings can come in, we got to make space for them. But this is so like on key. This is so on target because we already have that energy. We know that around springtime, around this time, what would the ancestors do? The elders, not the ancestors, the elders. Okay, because my mama, my grandma, my big sister, and me now, we clean it up. It's time to spring clean. It's time to get. That's literally what this is saying. It's like we literally have to spring clean, get rid of all the old, everything that doesn't serve us anymore, to make room for the blessings, the newness that is coming. Okay, so it's not. I mean, it shouldn't even come as a shock to us that we should be taking inventory of the house, so taking our house, like taking inventory of us, our lives, getting rid of that old stuff, throwing out the stuff from last year, and making room for the new. We always hear the big debate about when the new year is. Do we celebrate New Year on January 1st? Is New Year in the spring? You know what I mean? But we know that a new year is coming right now with the birth of new babies and new little creatures and the flowers coming into bloom and the leaves turning back green. It is definitely a new year. All right. So if I can be specific, there have been like three key themes. There we go. Sorry, y'all. All right. There have been three key themes that come up that I want to highlight, or you know what I mean? So the first being breaking cycles and clearing old energy to invite new opportunities. That's the baseline of spring. That's what we just said. Okay. Clearing out the old to get ready for the new. And in that, we have to remember to stay in a season of feeling of expectancy, knowing that those new opportunities are coming. You know, we talked about those spiritual laws before. By clearing out the old, you're making room for the new. It has no choice but to come on in there. All right. So number two, yeah, we got to prioritize healing. That's physical, that's emotional, it's financial. We have to prioritize it before we just dive headfirst into the idea of growing. So this is something that it's kind of related. It's something that I recently realized in a business sense that you have to stabilize before growth, right? It's like if everything crazy, it's hard to be trying to grow. That's business. But it's the same thing personally. Like I feel that the same with that theme. It's like we have to heal ourselves. We have to close up the cracks. We have to heal the wounds and the sore places before we start piling more stuff on. Because if we don't, blessings and energy is going to seep right on through those cracks. The weight of those new opportunities and blessings are going to hurt us where we're sore and where we're wounded. We have to heal and be okay taking the time to do that before focusing on growth. And so as you're getting rid of the old, you know, you're also healing this month, knowing that the small little bulbs are what's popping up now, but those bulbs are going to be big old bushes and trees, and they're going to bear fruit in a couple of months if you're patient and you tend to them. That's the same thing personally. I'm hoping that's making sense. That you go ahead and tend to yourself. You go ahead and fix the cracks and the crevices, knowing that better is coming. All right. That's again staying in expectancy, knowing that better is coming. You got to call it to you. Okay. All right. And just thinking about themes, the last one, like bold enough to talk about, is refining our plans and our strategies to ensure alignment and success. What worked last year might not work this year. What worked last season in the winter is not going to work in the spring because the energy is different. Those ideas that you had before, they might be outdated. The way that you were going about your goals or whatever it is, maybe there's a better way. Have you checked? Have you stopped and paused and really, thought about it and tried to see? That's what we need to do. So spring, March, March specifically, is all about taking inventory of your stock, being open to change, you know what I mean? Because to refine something, you gotta change it. Okay? So if you're wondering like how might this show up, like if you're how might these things be affecting you? Some signs that the energy is affecting you. Are you feeling stuck or drained? This may be an indicator that old cycles need to be closed. I feel that one. Are you tired? Are you drained? Okay. Are you having some strong nudges intuitively? Do you kind of already know that some stuff needs to be changed? You probably know what needs to be changed. Okay. And hey, reflection. I am not my sister's keeper. Like Ia says, I am my sister. Yeah. You probably already know what it is that needs to shift. But if you keep having that little nudge to shift, to change, to do something different, to reevaluate, you need to listen to it and lean into it. Okay, be obedient, because obedience is always better than sacrifice. Do you feel the need to simplify your life? Do things just need to be streamlined? Are you realizing that it's just too much? You don't need all of this. You don't need all of this stuff. You don't really need all of this baggage. You don't really need all of these after work activities that you've been doing. You don't really need as many shopping trips as you thought. Maybe it's just really a lot right now. Are you realizing that life might be a little bit easier, simpler, with a little bit less? Focus on clarity and alignment. Because remember, we don't need a lot of stuff. We're really just trying to get to the end destination. We don't need a bunch of money. We just want the bills paid. We don't need we want the Louis bag. We want the Chanel bag. But I don't care if it just happened to fall into the car. Now we know that's probably not going to happen, but you want the end thing, right? So maybe it's a whole bunch of other stuff that's really serving as clutter that needs to be cleared out this here March to get ready for everything else that spring is going to bring. All right. So those are the things, like I said in the very beginning, it's like, okay, these things may keep popping up. We may see them. You may even say, all right, some of those signs are relevant to me. You know what I'm saying? You are seeing some of those signs. Well, what are the lessons that we can really pull from the signs, from the themes? Okay. The main one being breaking cycles for new beginnings. Some commitments, relationships, or even thought patterns have run their course, y'all. Like I've said that. With past lesson, it has to be acknowledged before new opportunities can fully arrive. The discomfort of letting go is necessary as a part of your transformation. I recently was having a conversation with one of the priestesses here at OHI, and I was able to identify a resistance that I had with letting go. Letting go with what my idea for my life is, and embracing the idea, embracing the plan that is actually the plan of my Ori, which is actually my destiny. There's resistance there. When you've gone 25, because I'm 25. No. Actually, let me not do that, because these days, y'all, it is a blessing to get old, okay? So if you or get older, if you have gone 33 years picturing, life to be one way, it's hard to let that go and be okay with embracing something else. People might fib and make it seem like it's all, guns and roses. It's not easy. It is hard. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the discomfort is real. But it's necessary. You got to work through that, because the blessing, the transformation is on the other side of that. All right. And again, I mean, it's just so on par with what the elders been doing anyway, with why we've been spring cleaning. But now we know that spring cleaning is not just in the physical, it's not just the house. You got to spring clean that mind, you got to spring clean that body, you got to spring clean your thoughts, all of that. Right. Something else that we really can learn from this month is healing before growth. Like, not only is it's coming up as a theme, but it's coming up as a lesson. Like I said, we can't pour into a cracked vase, because all of the goody goodness is just gonna seep on out, and that's not what we want. Okay, we can't build on shaky foundation. So before abundance can flow, we have to heal what's unresolved. So I'm not saying to just close the door on the past, just chuck the past out. Again, I said we need to take inventory. You need to look and see what lesson can I learn from this thing before I close this chapter. We want to intentionally take stock. We're not just chucking stuff out. You know what I mean? We're being really intentional about it. March is a time for self-care, inner work, and repairing what's broken before moving forward, y'all. All right, something else is really clearing confusion and refining strategy. Talked about this earlier as well as a theme, but I want you to see it as a lesson, something you can learn from it as well. Some plans may need adjustment. It's not failure, it's refinement. If things feel unclear, it's just time to recenter, simplify. That's really the thing. Like, simplify. We were doing so much. We realizing we ain't got to do all of that. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get to the end goal. If things feel unclear, take time to recenter, reevaluate, get it together. It's not failure. All right. So if you're like, how can I do these things? How can I work with this energy and not against it? How can I not be ramsacked by it? It's always better to be proactive than reactive, right? We know that. So we want to identify and release anything that's draining your energy. And it's crazy that this came up. The whole thing is so in alignment with like things going on personally. But I went and I had some time with spirit about temple talk tonight, about what things we should bring up and talk about, and this is what came up. But it's just so in alignment with, like I said, personal things that's been coming up. That's how I know all is one. So you got to go ahead and release. I'm releasing. I'm severing ties. I'm cutting stuff off, cutting people off. I think I got a whole business I'm about to sunset, and I'm not gonna do it no more because I don't want to. Okay, identify and release anything that is draining your energy. Commit to one healing practice that restores your mind, body, or soul. When I was having this conversation with the priestess that I mentioned earlier, she said something that was just so powerful, but it was so simple. She said, break the thing down, whatever new habit or goal you're trying to incorporate, break that thing down into the smallest possible task. Like, you have to make it almost intentional to not do it. Okay, that's how you want to break it down and start building on those habits. And just to be released, to know it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be big and grand, but you can still make steps. I want you guys to receive that too. All right. So commit to one healing practice. That could be a dedicated prayer time. That could be meditation. That can be breath work. That can be outside grounding with your shoes off. Okay. That could be whatever. It can honestly be reading if that is something that heals your mind or your spirit. Okay. But you need to pick one thing, or I'm charging you to pick one thing and commit to it this month for your healing. All right. And lastly, reassess your goals. Make the necessary adjustment for alignment. It's a new year. So even however you want to look at it, it's still March. It's still quarter one. So if you're going with the calendar year, it's still quarter one. If you're going with the natural year, outside, it's the new year. It is a perfect time to reassess your goals and make necessary adjustments. Okay. Make sure it makes sense for where you are right now. All right. That's what we want to do. Cool. Now, I know I've been talking for a minute. If you are still with me, let me know. And hey, if any questions are coming up, drop them in the comments. If you're catching the replay and you have questions, drop them in the comments. You guys know I'm here. I'm in the Facebook page. I will answer them. I will see them. So don't be afraid to use the chat box. Okay. Okay. Now, if you are familiar, we are in the Orisa Hoodoo community. And so I do want to give you a few just spiritual ways that you can incorporate, or spiritual things you can incorporate into the tools that I mentioned earlier. Okay. So we talked about releasing everything that no longer serves you. Okay. If you want to see, because we know that our spiritual work is a physical manifestation, it's a visualization of the transformation that we want to see happen, right? Like that's what it is. So We talked about releasing things that no longer serve us. Now, if we want to ritualize that, if we want to amplify that energy through spiritual work, you can write down those things, write down everything that you're releasing. You can burn it, you can scatter the ashes, right? Transform the energy into something else and get it away from you. All right. Now, we talked about clearing your energy. Okay. You can use some sea salt or maybe even a smoke cleanse if you use Palo Santo or anything like that to remove stagnant energy. Okay. And we know that our first line of defense is always the ancestors. And by energizing them, by amplifying them, we can partner with them to do many things in our lives. So, I mean, give your folks some special offering, okay? It's going to strengthen your connection with your guides as you're able to, seek their wisdom for refinement. You don't have to do this thing alone, for real, for real. And we forget that too often. You got a whole team rallying behind you. I call them my dope ass council of guardian angels. That's what they have been called for years now. Okay, and we know that that's the spiritual court. That's the ancestors, right? That's your spirit guides. That's your Ori. That's the any Orisa that's walking with you. That's all of them, and they're looking out for you. Their first line of defense is always your ancestors. So tap into them. All right. And so remember, like I said, I'm gonna give you a specific spiritual bath recipe. I'll tell you the ingredients and the intentions for cleansing and renewal that you can use this month, but I'm just saving it to the end. Just a little zhuzh, okay, saving it to the end. So let's hop into the updates. That was the forecast. I hope it resonated. Let me know if it did. Let's talk about it as the month progresses and you see these things come up. Let me know. Let me know if it made a difference for you, being prepared and ready for them, because I think that it should, for sure, for sure. All right. Now, here in the Orisa Hoodoo Institute, March is a packed month, baby. March is looking scrumptious, and I want you guys to tap in to what's going on. Hopefully you've been taking notes this entire time. Hopefully, all right, and you have your notes. But if you haven't been, get your pen and your paper so that you can write down these important dates because you want to make sure that you catch them. Okay. Now, on every Sunday this month at 10 o'clock, Priestess Oshun Committee is going to be doing Riverbank Revelations. You know how this is our monthly forecast right now, kind of getting you ready for the month. Well, Reverend Priestess Oshun Committee is getting you ready for each week with her Riverbank Revelations. This is really a good spiritual time, baby. It gives church, it gives a little bit of church, it gives hoodoo. It gives hoodoo service, 10:10 on Sundays. So please be sure to tap in. That goes ahead and fills up, your spiritual tank. It amplifies your spirit man so that you're ready for the entire week. So we hope to see you there. All right. Now, this Sunday coming up, March 9th, we also have a class at 8 p.m. That one is Curating the Moon, and it's going to be by Priestess Olaia and Priestess Ajajola. So that's like a two-hitter. You get two amazing experience perspectives from these priestesses about how to curate and work with the moon. We know that there are certain energies that you have to be initiated to work with and things like that. But our planets, the moon, oh baby, she's free game. You can work with the moon. You need to have that as part of your arsenal. So I hope to see you in class on this coming Sunday, 9 o'clock, 8 p.m. for that. All right. Now, Friday the 14th, Ancestral Money Magic 101. That's going to be with Priestess Omisika. She is the Minister of Magic here at OHI. Every single one of her classes gets transformation, gets rave reviews. People start just seeing money in places that they didn't even know that they could see money, okay? They start realizing that money is not just that little green thing that folds up. Or I should say that abundance It's not just those little green pieces of paper that fold up. There is abundance everywhere. That is what you realize when working with Priestess Omisika. This is a free opportunity and you don't want to miss it. So Friday the 14th, 6:30 p.m., Ancestral Money Magic 101. You want to make sure that you sign up for the classes. Now, Riverbank Revelations is on the OHI YouTube, and you can see that. These other classes, I'm believing, are going to be held via Zoom. So make sure you actually register for the classes so that you get the access information. Okay? Okay. Moving right along. March 17th, as y'all know, is a holiday. It's what? St. Patrick's Day. So you have the opportunity to take a class called Luck of the Irish, working with your European ancestors with Priestess Oyapetu. Um, I had the opportunity to take a class like this with her when we did work with our European ancestors, and it opened up an entire department, I guess you can say, of the ancestral treasury that has been ignored and overlooked for a lot of time for a lot of us. A lot of us don't really want to work with the ancestors that we don't think look like us. But then we remember that just because we use the word European, it does not mean that they weren't brown. There's so much that you're going to talk about in that class. So look at the Irish, March 17th. Be there or be square. Okay. Um, Thursday. Nope, not Thursday. Sorry. Saturday, March 22nd, is going to be Sirens Lounge. So Sirens Lounge is like the fun is girl talk, and it's like late night sexy girl talk. It's like grown and sexy, going to see your girls, a little bit of wine. There literally maybe some wine, like we can, and that's what Priestess Olaia. We are able to talk about all things divine feminine. We talk about all things siren. You know what I mean? All things female, That's what we talk about at Sirens Lounge. That's why it's 11 p.m. We give time for our East Coast and West Coast baddies to be in the room. See you there. You can even wear some cute PJs. Okay? Look out for any info that may come from her as well. All right? And yep, if I'm not mistaken, the last one, well, other than because I'm going to tell you about my class. So the last class on the calendar is going to be 3 p.m. Saturday, March 29th, and that's Setting the Work. That is another installment coming from Priestess Olaia and Priestess Ajijola. That is also the new moon. So like March 14th is the full moon. March 29th is the new moon. So to meet in community during that time is going to just be so amazing. Everything that we learn, everything that we do together is going to be amplified because, I'm sorry, y'all say I jumped, I heard something. It's going to be amplified because of the energy of the moon. Okay? All right, that's what I told y'all. It is a jam-packed month in the community. And it's so juicy, right? It's so good. So you don't want to miss any of it. Now, I want you guys to also take note that we have a free mentorship program, that is getting ready to start back up. There are also 2 other mentorship programs being ran by my good God sisters. One is about introduction to spirituality and things of that nature, or into the practice, but more info and details will be posted in the comments. And one is actually going to be about money magic, about abundance. Okay. You want to make sure that you tap into those opportunities because getting knowledge one-on-one straight from people with experience, sitting at the feet of your elders, there is no better way to learn, right? So be on the lookout for those amazing things. They're starting up as we speak. I believe sign-ups are going on for all 3 mentorships I just mentioned already. So go ahead and get in the number so that you don't miss out, okay? And something else super amazing, baby, OHI is going to Ghana, okay? So there is an international African retreat. OHI is going back to the motherland. This will actually be the second trip that we have taken to Africa. And we invite you all to come with us. I'm actually going to get those details for you right now because I didn't have those details in front of me. But again, if you go ahead and get into our app, you'll have access to all this information. Okay. Technology. Of course, the internet is going slow. So don't worry. I'm going to drop that too. I'm just going to drop all these links, all this info in the bottom comments. But the main thing for you to do is to get into the app so that you can see it. You have access to everything. Okay. But yes, we are taking a 7-day trip to Ghana. It is going to be just simply amazing. So let's see the Ghana trip. It's the OHI Ghana retreat. September 1st through 8th, 2025. OHI is heading back to Africa and we want you to join us. This is our second pilgrimage to the motherland, and this time we are partnering with an amazing priestess for an unforgettable journey to Ghana. So again, it's going to be September 1st through 8th. It includes all transportation within Ghana. And if you know anything about OHI and the way we do things, baby, it's going to be luxury accommodations because it's the only way we move. Most of your meals are covered. You're going to have curated experiences, historical tours, spiritual excursions. Y'all, this retreat is more than a trip, it's a homecoming. We know that Ghana holds deep ancestral energy for many of us, especially in connection to the transatlantic slave trade. So this journey is going to center repatriation, ancestral healing, and spiritual restoration in ways that words just cannot fully capture. So, spots are limited. You got to be able to, move comfortably. So everybody can't come. So to secure your place, express, some interest, let us know, get into the app, like I keep saying, so that you can get details about, payment plans, deposits, and all that jazz. Okay. Y'all, who are we going to Africa? Like we say we priestess in real life. Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. I think those are the main amazing thing. My master class. So I am having a master class on March 20th. That is a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Um, it's a Thursday. Sorry. So Thursday, March 20th, we are going to be discussing the power of spiritual community. And also included with this class is going to be a group elevation ritual. This group elevation ritual is going to be focused on community ones that we have lost tragically. So I know we've been on here for a little while. I'm gonna start wrapping it up. I'm doing it. I told you, just like them Southern pastors that didn't plan to be before you long. Here we are, right? But I'll share more info. I'll share more info as we get closer to the class. But there are always things going on in the community. Some not that awesome. And I recently saw a story about a young baby. Baby was less than 10, I believe, like younger than 10, who lost her life from senseless gun violence. And I was led to do an elevation ritual for her and realized that there are instances like that happening in our communities around the country more often than are being broadcast on the news. And so for that reason, we know a lot of them may not be getting energy thrown their way for various reasons. And because we are reflections of one another, you know what I'm saying? I would want somebody to throw some energy my way. So we're going to throw some energy to, community members that have already passed on, like the baby girl I mentioned that lost her life to senseless gun violence that had nothing to do with her. So the class is free. Let folks know to tap in. The class is going to be about the power of spiritual community. And like I said, together we will do a community elevation ritual. So if there's a story that sticks out to you from your state, from your city, from your hometown, maybe you moved away, Bring that name with you to the ritual. If there's something globally that is on your heart and, dawns on you that may be something that needs elevation, bring that with you to the class. And that's something that we'll work on together. All right. So Thursday, March 20th, 8 p.m., the Power of Spiritual Community. Register, so because that is going to be on Zoom. So register so that you get the Zoom access info. Cool beans? Cool beans. All right, y'all. So again, I'll keep saying it, but I need y'all to know we're not gonna keep playing with these people platforms. Okay, get on the OHI app so that you can really just deepen your practice. African culture, the culture of brown folks, African American culture, is so centered around community. And we've been lone witching it for far too long. That was a whole tactic of the enemy. That was a plan of the ops, right? But we're past that now. We know that we need community. So I look forward to seeing y'all on the other side of the castle walls. All right. Cool. So I think we are good to go, y'all. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if anybody hanging with me still live. So tell me this. If you're catching the replay, this is what I'll do. If you're catching the replay and you want the spiritual bath recipe for March, drop a something, any emoji, drop a little soap bar emoji. There we go. Drop a little soap bar emoji in the comments and I'll send it to you. That's how we'll do it. Okay. So if you want the spiritual bath recipe for March, drop the little soap emoji in the comments and I'm going to send it over to you. It's super easy. It's only 4 ingredients. It's 4 ingredients that you probably have them already. And if you don't, you can do a Walmart order to the house and it'll be there. And I'll give you the intentions. Okay. But yeah. All right, y'all. So remember, March is a month of letting go. March is a month of healing. March is a month of refining your plans for long-term success. We want long money. We want long legacies, right? We want long stamina. This is a long-term game. So refining your plans for long-term success. Trust the process, y'all. March is preparing us for greater things to come. And I'm going to stay in expectancy for it. I know even greater is to come. If you need an affirmation to kind of guide you this month, because we love our good affirmations, right? We release the past, embrace healing, and walk into clarity, success, and divine alignment. We release the past, embrace healing, and walk into clarity, success, and divine alignment. All right. So if this resonated with you, save this session. That way you can come back, reference this if you need to, see how these things play out in your life, right? Share it with someone who maybe needs it. We're all walking into the month of March. It's the beginning of March for everybody. Somebody probably needs this. So share it with them. And let's continue the conversation in the app, y'all. I want to see you on the other side of the castle walls. All right. That's it. I love you guys. I'm super excited to tackle March and to see what all it brings. All right. As always, honor to the ancestors. Peace.